Hey YouTube, this weekend is the Pokemon Go Wild area. So this is quite, I read through this and I watched a couple YouTubers go over all the event details. And this is quite a big event. And whenever I look at these events, I look through it from the GBL perspective. Now there's like 3 different sort of areas to this event. So I'm going to skip a lot of these areas. If you want a full depth and in-depth analysis of like every single thing that you could do during this event, go watch Poke Daxi or go watch the Trainer Club. I watched those two, and I think those two did a really good job explaining every single type of aspect of this. So I'm going to gloss over the things that I'm not going to do that really don't have any value in GBL. So like the Mega Raid, the Mega Raids, not Mega Raids, the Dynamax Raids, the Level Up Gigantamax, and the new Pokemon is garbage. But there are a couple things that are useful. So I'm going to ignore all that stuff. I am going to talk about Primal, Kyogre, and Groudon. Again, we do not really showcase Master Leagues in this channel because people don't play it, people don't watch it. But Primal Kyogre, Primal Groudon are out there. I think personally that they are more valuable, these primals, to get the Pokemon so that you can like get the energy that you need for primals so you can use them in raids. I think that's probably better. Groudon is pretty good in the Master League. Kyogre I think has dropped quite a bit. It was like an OG Pokemon back in the day. But from what I remember, it has dropped a lot. So actually Groudon's probably dropped a bit now that, 23. Groudon's down to 23. 23 is still pretty good. But I think as a ground type Pokemon, you're probably want to run Landorus. It is just the best Mudshot Sandsear Storm safe swap. But if you don't have Zygarde, which most people don't, Landorus is my number 1. Rhyperior with the Mudslap buff plus Break and Swipe Rockwork is a great combo there. But as the number 3 ground, it is really, really good. So it's there. Water, I think, with Palkia, there's no reason to run Kyogre. Yeah, Kyogre is down to 54. That does not surprise me. In a meta that is dominated by dragons, which resist water, and Palkia being the number 1 dragon that is also half water, there's no real reason to run Kyogre. So I think Primal raids are good. I think you should get the Primal Energy, I think it's called, in these raids just so you can like power yours up, which will help you in future raids. But that's about where I'd end it there. Gigantamax Toxtricity. Toxtricity is not a good Pokemon for GBL. So we are not going to talk about Gigantamax. We're not going to talk about Dynamax. Mighty Pokemon we will talk about because we're going to focus on GBL and the wild here. And they're introducing something here with Mighty Pokemon. So you may find high attack, high defense, high HP, XL or XXL Pokemon that are up to level 45 or I think even 50. So how this works is these things have a floor of, according to Trainer Tip said 12, 12, 12. Poke Daxi said 13, 13, 13. So they're very, very, very high IV Pokemon that are very, very difficult to capture. So they suggest using these new Safari Balls. Now, so the Safari Balls are a new Pokeball which is debuting. All trainers will receive a time research task during the event, awarding a small amount of balls. So if you want either free to play, all trainers can get some Safari Balls from this, and the Safari Balls should be used on, people have recommended 2 things. The Galarian birds, if you use your incense and get a Galarian bird, or these mighty Pokemon, which are like level 45 and above with super high attack and defense. So like Gyarados is one. Pidgeot, I think they maybe list them down here. Do they list them down there? No. I think Pidgeot and Gyarados are 2 of them, and those are the 2 that you probably need to talk about. Hopefully they name them down here. Adventure effects. So there are 2. The Roar of Time distorts time for 6 minutes and pauses the timer of Incense, Daily, Adventure Incense, and Lucky Eggs. So you run the Roar of Time if you want to advance that Adventure Incense, so you get more there. And then Palkia allows for encounters with wild Pokemon to increase if you want to get more Pokemon in the wild. I think 95% of people run Roar of Time because it has a better effect on the daily incense, which you get for longer, and lucky eggs and star pieces. So those are the things, being able to use those longer, much more useful than I think a wider range of distance. Costume. Okay, here we go, because this is actually where you need to make a decision. For all trainers, event-themed Pokemon will appear in 2 unique habitats, which will rotate hourly during the event. Plus, mighty Pokemon will be appearing throughout the day, regardless of a habitat hour. So let's just go with the mighty Pokemon first. So on Saturday, Pidgeot, I remember Pidgeot, Golem, Gyarados, Luxray, Scolipede, Galvantula, Tyrantrum, and Toxpex. Now remember, these Pokemon are likely floors of like 13 IVs and pretty high levels, like 40, 45, 50. So with that, you probably only need Pokemon where you need high IVs, high IVs, and probably the upper leagues, because usually in the Great League you want lower IVs, right? Like I would probably go for like a lower level Toxapex. Like if it's like a level 40, it's going to be over the CP of 1500 with like a high attack stat. So same with like for Alligator, like you probably want like a lower attack stat Shadow for Alligator anyways, as opposed to like a higher attack one. So the only ones that you want really a high attack stat for of these are Pidgeot in the Ultra League, you need a 15. Gyarados in the Master League, primarily Master League Premier, you need a hundo. Galvantula in the Ultra League, you need a hundo. So those are the 3 that I would focus on trying to catch on Saturday. I think, again, Ultra League, Master League, Ultra League. And then on Sunday, Dragonite in the Master League, and Mamoswine if you want like a Raider. The rest of them, I would probably look for more lower attack, like Venusaur, Poliwrath for Alligator, Toxpex. These are all very useful Pokemon in Great League and Ultra League. Dragonite in the Ultra League and Great League as well, but you probably want lower attacks on those. And I don't think you're going to get them with the mighty Pokemon. So you can catch them. It's a good way to get candy, right? Because these are like, if you're like a newer player, Dragonite is your second stage evolution, right? So you get your Dratini, Dragonair, Dragonite, which means you get more candies for it. So Gyarados, same thing. Tough to evolve. You need 400 candies. So this is a good way to like get candies, or like have Pokemon that would, if you're like a really new player and you don't have the candies, a good way to get those evolved forms. But you have Electric Hour and Poison Hour. So the Electric Hour has Ageodude, Magnemite, Voltorb, Hoosean, Voltorb, Electabuzz, Electrike, Shinx, Blitzel, Joltik, Tynamo, Stunfisk, and Helioptile. I'm sure I mispronounced some of those. I always do. Okay, so what do we need here? The only couple that I see on this list, geez, it's tough. Here's the thing. Right now, Electric is bad. And why is it bad? Is because they buffed ground a ton. So you have Clodsire, you have just your Gastrodon as your Mud Boy, you have Marowak, you have a ton of ground Pokemon, which means that the Electrics are definitely much worse. And they just released Morpeko, and Morpeko provides you that electric coverage that you want on some Pokemon, right? The point of using the electric Pokemon were for like water Pokemon or flyers. So Morpeko gives you that, but it also gives you the ability that if you do see something that resists electric, like grass or something, you can then just throw the Psychic Fangs on the first one, lower the defense, and then go with the Dark Aura Wheel the second time around. So right now, a lot of these Pokemon are not being used. And I think a lot of these Pokemon have just had better Pokemon come in. So if this was 2 seasons ago, there are 2, maybe 3 Pokemon on this list that are very useful. Magnemite into Magnezone, or Magneton and then Magnezone, but Magnezone, Joltik into Galvantula, and then Stunfisk on its own in the Great League. So Galvantula had some play in the Great League and Ultra League. Magnezone had some play in Great League, Ultra League, and Master League Premier, and Stunfisk had some play in Great League. Now, it wasn't an amazing play, but it was decent. Actually, Galvantula in the Great League was actually quite strong. However, Galvantula just got beaten out by Charjabug. At this point, in my opinion, there's no reason to run Galvantula if you have a Charjabug. Charjabug, basically same moveset. X's are instead of lunge, but way more bulk. So it just makes sense to run Charjabug over Galvantula. And Magnezone, same thing. You had that Volt Switch Wild Charge. There are other Pokemon that you can use, like Togedemaru. But again, I would not be really using those electrics right now anyways. But those are the ones that I would focus on if I was going to focus on any of them in this hour. I still think those are good. You never know. The meta could change. Maybe ground gets nerfed. Maybe more answers to ground come next season. And then maybe electric is back on the menu. So Magnemite, Joltik, Stunfisk. Who's seen Voltorb's? Hisuian Voltorb is an interesting one. It is half grass, the Electrode. So it's half grass, half electric. It's a really unique typing. It definitely has some play in limited cups. So if you don't have a few of those, I would grab a few of those because they will have play there. Poison. Now, I'm going to contradict everything I just said in the first, in the electric. Poison is also weak to ground, and ground is everywhere. However, Poison got insanely buffed this season. Poison Sting got buffed, and that has helped out a few of the Pokemon here. And some Pokemon are just strong in general as a poison. So, on this list is Bulbasaur, Bellsprout, Tentacruel, Spinarak, Paldean, Wooper, Quillfish, Hisuian Quillfish, Scroopy, Krogunk, Venipede, Skrelp, and Marianne. A lot of these evolutions are very meta right now in the Great League in particular. You have the number 1 ranked Pokemon. Paldean Wooper is Clodsire. So Clodsire is the 1 ranked Pokemon in the Great League. You should definitely have one of those. Scroopy. Drapion is one of the best safe swaps in the Great League. You should have one of those. Spinarak is Ariados, which is one of the best poison bug type in this Great League meta. Hisuian Quillfish, we just had a ton of in the limited cup. It's more of a limited Pokemon. And same with Quillfish. Like, both are good Pokemon, but better to like limited cups. Toxapex, bottom right here, is still an incredible answer to Azumarill everywhere. So if you're going to only have 1 hour in your day to play, it should be this one in the current state of the meta. Now, season turnovers in a week. Who knows what Niantic's going to nerf and buff? But you know, you can only live in the moment of the information we have. Even Bulbasaur with Venusaur, a little not as strong, but like again, Tentacruel to Tentacruel in the Ultra League is very strong. Not as great in the Great League, but really strong in the Ultra League. So like Tentacruel for the Ultra League, Spinarak for the Great League, Paldean Wooper for the Great League, Quillfish and Hisuian Quillfish for the Great League, Scroopy for the Great League and Ultra League. Skrelp, Dragalge has some play in more in the Ultra League than the Great League, but a little bit in the Great League in some limited metas. Really good in the Ultra League. Toxapex in the Great League. Lots to hunt here. So definitely worth getting out here too. Do we care about 3-star raids? No. 4-star raids, again, Toxtricity is not a good Pokemon. I don't even think it's like ranked. Let me see. Toxtricity. Okay, 141 in the Ultra League. I don't think it's gonna go in the Great League because I don't think you can even 301 in the Great League. So we're not even gonna look at that. Actually, let's look at it just quick beyond the hype, because I'm sure some people will post it and be like, "Oh, look at this Pokemon. This Pokemon has a 140 attack, 94 defense, 119 stamina, 1580. So it is a glass cannon. With a glass cannon, so the biggest issue, so you have Wild Charge, which is great. The problem is you do not have a fast move to get you there. So you have a Power Punch, which is 100% a bait move here. So the recommended moveset is Poison Jab, Wild Charge, Power Punch. Now Poison Jab is more of a damage move, 4.2 damage per turn. If you are This is why this Pokemon's not good, and this is why it's ranked so low. I can tell you right now, just by looking at not only just the stats. Yeah, it's both these things combined. And the typing. Electric is not good. Stat: 140 attack, 94 defense, 119 stamina. If you are going to have these attack stats with that low defense and stamina, you need a move that nukes and comes super quick. So let me just pull up Primeape, because Primeape is the number 2 ranked Pokemon with this stat product. It's not the stat product's fault that makes you bad. Here's 140 attack, 99 and 115 for 1600 overall, but it's the number 2 ranked. So having a very, very, very similar stat product, very similar, almost identical, 140, 94, 119, and you're at 301, what gives? The other two things give: your moveset and your typing. And your moveset, the Wild Charge is fantastic. A 45 energy move for 120 damage, 2.67 damage per energy, and attack heavy. This is fantastic. Bait move, not bad. You would ideally want a second move where you can also hurt, but if you need like a bait move before you land the Wild Charge, great. The problem is you need something like Thunder Shock on this to just get a ton of energy. You need a 4.5 energy per turn move, because you need to get to these Wild Charge really quick. If you had a 4.5 energy per turn move, that would be 9. That means you get to the Wild Charge in 5. You do need to, for this Pokemon to work, you need to get to Wild Charge in 5. Or else this Pokemon does not work. So it's ranked so low because Poison Jab is more of a damage move and not so much of an energy move, which means you get to the Wild Charge in 7 and 6. That's not good enough for this Pokemon, so not worth it there. And then Electric and Poison, lots of resistances. Steel, Poison, Grass, Flying, Fighting, Fairy, Electric, Bug. That is a lot of great resistances. And I'm not even too worried about the Psychic. Yeah, Malamar has Psywave, so that's maybe one of the only ones you need to worry about. We're not going to see a Rangaroo in the open, so we're not so worried about that. Double weak to ground, right? Poison and Electric, both single weak to ground, each of them combined. Double weak to ground means that you are taking double super effective from some of the top meta Pokemon, right? So I think the moveset is the main one, and then just the underground dominated meta being double weak to ground is not ideal. So it's not a good Pokemon. So we don't really need to. It's better in the Ultra League because there's not as many ground. Why is it better in the Ultra League? Because there are not as many ground type Pokemon that are top meta in the Ultra League. Plus you're a bit bulkier, so you can maybe get off a couple Wild Charges here as opposed to the Great League, which you probably can barely get off one. So you can do that 4 stars if you want, but again, I think it's more just like getting it in your decks. Origin Form, Dialga, and Palkia, yes and yes. I've been doing those. I've been doing this now. I can't believe that the new update they just gave is only temporary. So for those of you who have not noticed yet, you can see which one of your friends are in raids and click on that raid and just join them. And it's fantastic. It does not like force you to like hope your friend invites you. You can just like go and join, which has been fantastic. It's a limited feature and it's going to be taken away soon. We can't have nice things. Origin Form Dialga, Origin Form Palkia, both very, very, very meta in the Master League. I do like raids like once a week, and I've done 5 of these in like 2 days, including getting in remote raiding a couple through people on my list. So both of these, you need the XLs for, you need the hundos, definitely worth raiding. And then the Primal raids, like I said, Groudon better for the Master League, but most of these I'd probably just get for the candies and the Primal energy to be able to use them for raids myself. And then, yeah, if you want like a Drillbur, you can get one through max battles, but whatever. And there are some stuff like, again, I would just go, if you care about all this stuff like the no remote raid limit, daily limit for max particles increasing, stuff like that, go look at Poke Daxi and stuff like that. Featured attacks though. Hello. Featured attacks. Certain Pokemon will get the feature move, and we have 6 important ones, quite honestly. 2 less important now, but we'll have play in some limited cups. Anyways, the ones that you definitely need to move on 1,000,000% is Frenzy Plant on Venusaur, Aqua Tail on Gyarados, Hydro Cannon on Feraligatr. You need 5 of these 6 for sure. Luxray you do need Psychic Fangs, but it's gonna have such limited play in almost all metas, so it's get it, but it's kind of useless. Gust, because Wing Attack got nerfed, Gust Pidgeot was the OG move that people used, and if you're using Pidgeot, it's the move that you need again, so it's one that you need. And there are still Poliwrath counter users, like it's still got decent play in the Ultra League. So yeah, these 5 for sure you should be trying to get the legacy move on these. So if you have these, definitely evolve them. Avatar hairstyles, t-shirts, stickers, play, choose your path for ticket holders, for special bonuses, encounter. Yeah, so if you pay, if you're a ticket holder and pay money, you get some different pop stars and rock star and different toxicity and medals, and we're not doing that. I'll be lucky if I even play these days. Okay. Safari balls, yeah, and you can read the rest of the stuff yourself. We don't really care about this. We're not going to. This is not for this. This video is not for all the ins and outs of the. Go watch other content creators for the ins and outs. This is the analysis for this part right here, the raids and the Pokemon. So focus on the poisons, get a couple of the electric, and then do some raids for Dialga and Palkia would be my suggestions on how to play this event if you are looking to maximize the GBL aspect of this event. Yeah, so that is it. So while I watched Poke Daxi's thing, this is how like we're okay. We're done the main discussion part of the video. If you want to listen to Dan's rant/discussion part of the video, this is what we're getting into. So because I wanted to cover this event and I had not read all this yet, I watched Poke Daxi and I watched Trainer Club. And lo and behold, Trainer Club starts the video with, if you are in the Ottawa region, I'm joining up with Poke Daxi to do this weekend. And I'm like, oh, are you really? So I looked up and I'm like, oh yeah, you are. You posted on Twitter. I didn't see it because I barely check that anymore. Post on Twitter and like, oh yeah, you are in town to do this. So Sunday, so they're doing 2 days. Sunday, they're doing Saturday, they're doing just a downtown like grind to catch Pokemon starting at 10 a.m. Oh, Dan, you should join. We have 1 car and my daughter has dance at 9:40 out here in the West End. So no, I will not be joining them on Saturday. And then on Sunday, it's limited to only people who they're renting a bus or something and doing, trying to do like 100 max raids of toxicity or Gigantamax raids. And you need to have like 3 level 40 Drillburs, and I don't think I even did a Drillbur like raid or whatever they're called. So no, I will not be joining them. But if you're in the Ottawa region and you want to meet them, definitely go downtown on Saturday to check them out. You know what? I've talked to Poke Daxi and met him enough, so I don't need 1 more day there. And then Trainer Club. Yeah, okay. Cool. Not the Trainer Club. I can't fake the enthusiasm for the game like he can. Is the best way I can put it. I was in New York, and a lot of the content creators showed up just to do like meet and greets. So I remember seeing a line for like Brandon Tan, and there was like 10 to 15 people long right in Central Park. Yeah, Central Park there. He just had a lineup talking to people. Met with Cricket and Holly, and they did their event there. And then there was a raid train for Billy, Trainer Club. And he comes in screaming. He's getting everyone hyped. And that's his personality. Well, that's at least his personality they put on the screen. Whether that's him or not, I don't think that's actually him, but that's a whole different story. But he puts on, he's like screaming. He's loud. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I'm just like, man, I couldn't care about this game anywhere near the amount that you are fake and caring about this game. Like, I'm truly one of the most casual Pokemon Go players at this point. I do, obviously GBL it's a GBL channel for a reason. I'm very into GBL, not as much as I used to be. I used to play every set, every game, every set. I played every game, every set of GBL from the time it came out up until 2 seasons ago. I played every single game, every single set. And I guarantee you, I had, if not the most, guaranteed top 5 most GBL battles in the world. Because again, I played every single set, every single day. And when we got those 100 battles in the day, I did all 100. Like, I played every single day and thing. And the last 2 seasons, I stopped that because it was just like, it's a mental drain. But the other aspects of the game, I have done 0 Gigantamax. I've done 0 Gigantamax. I've done a few max battles. I've not done a max for Drillbur yet. I did like the starter max battle Pokemon because they were just easy and around and they were new, so I did them. But I have not done it since Drillbur came out. Have not done, or nor do I think I will do Toxtricity. And I will not be doing Gigantamax. So, and I don't do Raid Hour. I don't do Spotlight Hour. So I'm a very, very, very casual player in this game for 90% of what the player base actually cares about. And then I'm way more into the GBL aspect, which is why I have a GBL channel. So that is why you are here, because you want the GBL aspect of it. Anyways, that's enough Dan talk. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a good weekend. Hope you have a good, what's his event called? Into the Wild? Hope you have a good Go Wild area. Go Wild area? That was Into the Wild. Wild area. Anyways, I hope you have a good event. And stay tuned if you're new to this channel and you made it this long. Well, if you made it this long, you might as well hit that subscribe button. I would expect some traffic to increase in the next week because we will get the information for the new season this upcoming week. My guess is they're definitely going to wait till this is done. The season technically ends on December 3rd, right? It's a weird one because the Monday is I guess the league turnover is Tuesday. So Tuesday the 3rd, which makes this kind of tricky. They're not going to want to release. My guess is the 26th or the 27th is when they will release a new season info. This weekend is too busy with the stuff. I don't think they're going to want to release it on a weekend because they have shown that they don't want to work on weekends. So the 30th and the 1st is out, and they're not going to do it on the 2nd because that's too close to the thing. And they won't drop it on a Friday either. So maybe they drop it on a Thursday if they just want to give us like one extra day. Or it's going to be, in my opinion, the most realistic days in my mind are the 26th Tuesday or the 27th on Wednesday is when they're going to drop the news. Or the 28th because then I'm at a conference. I'm at a 2-day conference in Ottawa on the 28th and 29th. So like an 8 to 6 conference both days, Thursday, Friday. So I will be away from my computer and will not be able to cover it till like the next day. So if they drop it on 28th, you know what's happening. Anyways, that is it. That's enough rambling now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Oh, I'm stuck here. Okay, bye.